everybody, we're back on the couch for another episode of Therapy Thursdays, and I'm really excited to be sharing an amazing tool with you today that will help you to take more control of your emotions and actually build some emotional resilience and emotional fitness whilst you're in your recovery from your eating disorder or disordered eating. And this technique is super helpful anytime you get triggered. So whether that's around food, around your body image, around your sense of self, and even around other people. So this can be used in lots of different areas, but really when you get triggered and you feel that emotional response rising within you, and often it's the emotions which stop us from taking action in the direction that we want. And this is super important in recovery because we have so many emotions flying around because we are challenging ourselves, right? This is hard. Recovery is hard, and it's a conscious choice every single day. And with change, there's going to be some unease and some feelings of being unsettled and a hell of a lot of emotions that we have to try and navigate through, but in a way where it doesn't actually take away from what we're trying to achieve. And this is all about equipping you with the power and the knowledge and the skills to be able to deal with what's happening in the moment, okay? And I'm such a big supporter of teaching you guys practical tools that you can personally use to help navigate through those uncomfortable emotions. And this technique is called the havening technique. And what this does is actually use certain pressure points in the body and certain movements which activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for bringing more feelings of calm and relaxation. Okay, so this is all about reducing the emotional intensity of what you're feeling, using different body parts, different movements to activate that parasympathetic nervous system. And when I was in my recovery, this was such an important tool that I used whenever I felt anxious, whenever I felt the urge to purge, to overeat, to undereat, to go to the gym, all of those really strong urges to resort back to those old eating disorder behaviors. This is when I use this technique to lower that emotional intensity, to bring that right down, so then I could actually step in and think, okay, well, what do I actually want to do here, rather than being emotionally hijacked. And I did an episode on anxiety in last week's episode, which talks all about emotional hijacking, the role of the brain in our emotions. So if you missed last week's episode, go ahead and check that out. But today I'm just going to be showing you how to use this havening technique as a way of building emotional resilience and working through some of those really painful emotions, which are likely going to arise throughout your recovery journey. So, how this works, I'm going to take you through step by step and show you practically. So I'm going to give an example of what I would go through. So I would come home at the end of the day, and this would be a really triggering time for me, because for me, I would have restricted all day. I would have gone to work, gone to the gym, then come home, and I was just mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted. And this would set my anxiety off to the point where I would want to purge after my dinner, even if I haven't overeaten. That was just me. It was this sense of exhaustion and anxiety and unsettledness. And this is when I would use the havening technique. So you want to firstly start and actually pause and connect to what you're feeling in that moment. So for me, my anxiety is always in my throat. And before trying to immediately get rid of it, and for me it was purging, I just would pause and connect to it. So you might want to even close your eyes and you go, okay, well, where am I feeling this in my body, my throat? How strong is that feeling on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the strongest? For me, at that point of the day, it was always about 8 or a 9. So you want to connect to that and give it a rating, okay, whatever you're experiencing. And there's a few different exercises and movements, and you may want to do all of these, one of these, whatever works for you, but there's a few various different havening movements I'm going to teach you. So number 1 is on the face. So this is where you would close your eyes, and I'd want you to do circular motions on your cheeks, like this, round and round. So So that's the movement number 1. Number 2, which is my personal favorite, on the arms, up and down. And I don't know about you, but whenever a family member would come and give me a hug or stroke my arm or rub my back, it's really soothing. So I think this is why I personally like this the most, because I feel this is the most calming, the most soothing for me. So up and down like this. Or number 3, and this one is good if you're out in public, because I'm sure you won't feel comfortable doing this. You might do, it's up to you. Or doing this, you do your palms. So round and round in circular motions. You can do this under a table, quite out of the way. You can keep this out of sight. Just that connection of hand to hand. So 3 movements: face, circular motion, arms up and down, and hands. So whatever way you're going to do this, I will just do this because it's, like I said, it's my personal favorite. So once you've connected to that feeling on a scale of 0 to 10, you want to start the havening and close your eyes. And I want you to imagine yourself walking up a flight of stairs. And you want to count 1 to 20, okay? And as you count with every step, I want you to focus on feeling those feelings of calm and relaxation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so up that flight of stairs, 1 to 20. And then once you reach 20, you want to just start to even imagine or hum a familiar tune to you, whatever that may be. So it could be something like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. As you can see, my humming isn't great. It was very out of tune. So you want to add a song to that. Up the flight of stairs to 20, add a song for 2 rounds. You want to do 2 rounds of that. And then after this, we're going to use some of the eye movements. So once you've done that, you want to open your eyes, keep your head straight, and then look to the left. Keep your head straight though, just with your eyes. To the right, up to the ceiling, and down to the ground. You want to do that a couple of times. So 2 rounds of that. Left, as you can see, this works your motor skills. Right, up, down. Okay. And then we're going to do another visualization. So the last kind of step of this is to go through that all again. So we'll do 2 rounds. So 1 to 20, and you want to be visualizing that calm relaxation, however that would be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And again, if you're out in public, you do this in your head. And finally, with the eye movements, left, right, ceiling, floor. Okay. And then pause, deep breath. And check back in with that feeling. And rate it on that scale of 0 to 10 and see if it's changed. And even just doing that, even though I didn't have bad anxiety before, I do feel a hell of a lot calmer. And you can repeat this 2 to 4 times in one go. Okay? And this is something hugely powerful. And as you can see, I feel more relaxed now. I wasn't even anxious before. So it is such a powerful technique. using mechanisms of the mind and the body to bring yourself back into that state of balance. So remember, there's 3 different movements. I did this, but you can also do face, if you're out in public, and hands. So you want to continue doing the rounds until you get that score as well as 0 or as close to a 0 as you can get. You want to be looking at a 1 or a 2. So I'm really hoping that was helpful. It's something that I used in my recovery and I still use now to deal with my anxiety. And give that a try. Work through the process. Test out the different locations. And this is a bit of trial and error. You know, as I always say, there's not going to be one thing that works for everyone. There's not going to be one movement that works for everyone. So give this a little test. I would love to know which movement works best for you and how you found that whole process. So we'll be back next week for another episode of Therapy Thursdays. Any questions or comments, let me know in the bottom and we'll see you again very, very soon. Have a good week, everyone. See ya.